Before implementing StockIQ, Presperse was, I'll call it behind the times in terms of having any demand plan software. The way that things were being done was on Excel. What was happening was we put everything in Excel and it was not part of our ERP system. So then that data gathering that we did, we then had to transfer it into BC by just placing orders. So we used BC 365 and that never got, the demand never got put in, the orders got put in. So we couldn't actually see, we couldn't compare how our customers were putting in forecasts and what we were actually doing with it. And so there was no value add by this Excel worksheet. It was very reactive and not proactive. And so we decided once I came on board to look for software that could sit with our ERP system to make it seamless between demand planning and forecasting with our ERP system. StockIQ helps solve almost all of our issues right now. The way that the solution works is it sits on top of our ERP system. So my planners go into StockIQ, look at all the information, and then they can actually look to see what orders they need to place. So it has totally been life-changing. We are also able now to be able to give our suppliers a purchasing forecast, which we haven't been able to do before. All it was in the past was historical information. And now we can give them what we're going to buy in the future. We can also tell them orders that have been entered already from our customers. So it's been a great addition and we love it so far. So right now, Presperse has been looking at getting information. So by implementing StockIQ, we can now set KPIs on inventory, on service levels, on productivity. There are things that we can do now that we weren't able to do before. We are not 100% there with setting our KPIs with inventory, but now we have the visibility to do it. And I'm now working on the service level KPIs within my team. So I own planning, I own customer service. So we're working to see how we can actually implement the KPIs that we have. Right now, we have more visibility than we ever had before. And we actually have multiple sites in which we can see the inventory. So we're actually diving deeper into our other warehouses in Europe and in California, in Savannah. So all those places will have stock levels and we'll be able to adhere to it, which we haven't ever been able to before. So this is actually also being potentially used from a finance perspective to see how much we're actually going to spend on inventory. And with the world being the way it is right now and inflation going up and everybody's a little worried what's going to happen, we could actually take our inventory and reduce it and see what we're going to be left with compared to if we raise our inventory. So we're actually able to compare what we are doing right now versus what we were going to do. And the other thing that has totally helped us is the COVID factor. So, and we were able to speak before we even implemented it that we can put in a COVID factor. And so that we weren't just looking at last year's and basing it on, we're actually projecting out of what our inventory levels would be. And we've actually done a significant job right now at reducing our inventory.